Shakyamuni Buddha. Dear singer and all practitioners, it is Saturday afternoon, April 4, 2026. We continue uh, our, uh, our practice with the topic for this week, which is the week that we will start our uh, weekly retreat for 2026. Master like what I said, opening the retreat is like refining the ore, refining the gold, meaning we refine gold from the ore. We have to uh, burn it up. So the verse to open the retreat of Master like what I said uh, opening the retreat is like lighting up the fire to refine the gold. The stubborn people should be thrown into that uh, furnace and lighting up the fire stronger and keep the fire until um, even the space become the place to heat up the fire, meaning we continue to get the practice stronger. Master like what I said during the retreat, all of the when during the retreat, the heavenly being and the Dharma protector get busy, and all the saints and the Buddha and the heaven being are very joyful because we are able to maintain the right Dharma. Why are they busy? They are busy because of uh, the practice. So the day when someone get enlightened is a big day where the all the Buddhas feel very joyful and they get very busy. So we have to find a way to pay gratitude to the Buddha, the heaven being, the Dharma protector by making the best effort to practice. Train ourselves to have a determined mind and not letting any thought of ignorance or affliction controlling us, meaning we have to get rid of all of them. So refining the goal, meaning uh, we we get rid of those impurities from the ore. So at the end, what we have is the pure gold. Same thing with the practice. When we get rid of all of the ignorance and affliction, then the true nature will manifest. So the Buddha taught that in the sutra, and the patriarch remind us during the retreat. It's very important for us to understand their intention and put it into our practice. That way we can pay gratitude to the Buddha, the patriarch, all sentient being, and the wise teachers. So right now, anybody in the Sangha have any question or want to uh, provide your feedback about our weekly retreat or want to discuss your practice, you can bring it up. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Dear Thầy, dear all sangha and practitioners, there is a Dharma friend that share with me thanks to your encouragement on the practice. When this friend practice, she raised a thought that when we practice, we have to have a strong mind, have the determined thought of birth and death. So my friend keep trying to put her practice into a structure, meaning it has to be continuous, and she need to have that determined thought. And she feel like her practice become effective. But during your Dharma talk on Zoom, you said we should not base our practice based on what we seek, what we gain, or what we feel. But this friend said if we don't have such mind, if we don't have such determined mind and put the practice on top of everything, then it's very hard to make any achievement. Is there any conflict here? Can you please talk more to help us? Thank you, Thầy. This is a common sickness because she cannot enter the gate and keep running outside, and she was controlled by her arrogance, like the mind of wanting to win, or the temporary interest. That temporary interest is also the object of seeking and gaining, because once that interest is gone, then they do not practice anymore. The meaning of uh, impermanence is temporary, and birth and death is the great issue. It's not to make us feel fearful of death. So having the determined thought of birth and death doesn't mean that we are fearful of birth and death. It's also not the object of seeking or gaining here. It is to be sincere with our practice, not wanting to be plunged into birth and death any longer, not wanting to be in ignorance any longer. Like this life, we were ignorant, and next life, we will continue in this delusion. And because we don't want to continue to be deluded, and also because we believe in our true mind, that's why we're able to raise that determined thought. That determining thought is not the thought of being fearful of death. It's also not the thought of risking everything. It is the thought that we don't want to miss this opportunity, don't want to let this opportunity pass. In order to have such sincere, determining thought, we have to be able to put down the attachment. Some people think they need to risk everything. That means they still have the object of gaining and seeking. It's not the right way. we have to check ourselves again. It's because we don't have the belief in the true mind. We keep chasing after subject and object and got mistaken. Just like the Buddha thought, that it's the we mistaken the enemy for our children, because of our consciousness. We desire based on our consciousness, subject and object, not because of uh, using the practice to enter the gate. So for these things, we have to see it very clearly. In the sutra, the Buddha said, the good men and women seek out the right Dharma. How can they find the Anuttara Bod- Bod- Bodhi, Bodhi, um, uh, so they look for anyone where they hear that that person able to attain the unsurpassed body, and then they go seek out those people and um ask and put in their practice. And after seeking 53 people, they are able to um understand and attain uh the unsurpassed body mind. So some people they can understand the theory, but they cannot enter the gate. They not able to practice right. Why? Because um their belief in the mind still weak. They still get confused. So they have to strengthen their belief in the mind. That doesn't mean they go everywhere learning around. Um, they have to practice, and from the practice, they will have the sincere belief in the practice. And the true sincere mind means we cannot stop, even if we want. We will keep the doubt until we get awakened. So that is the true determining thought. The true determining thought means it will, we cannot even stop it. But if we our practice keep getting interrupted and keep changing, that is not the real determined thought. So we have to be careful here. Don't mistake the enemy as our children, and fall into the wrong path. I understand. Can I ask one more question? So, but beside the determining of thought of birth and death, we also need to have a plan to resolve this birth and death issue in this life. Like we have a direction that in this life we need to resolve this issue, cannot let it move until the next life. So what if we generate such a thought? Is it considered a vow to help us practice, or is it that we are generating an object of seeking and gaining? Thầy said making a vow is not the same as establishing a structure. Don't mistaken. Uh, for the Pure Land method, they need to they try to get reborn in the Pure Land within one life. Like they believe in the method. They believe in that they will be able to be reborn in the Pure Land within one life. So if they have such a strong, stable belief, then their practice will be continuous. For Patriot Zen, it's not the same. We don't have such belief. The belief for our practice is just belief in the mind. And this belief is not limited by time or space. That is the belief in the mind. Doesn't matter how many lives, we will not change because time is not real. Like reborn to the Pure Land means we have a space to be reborn to, a place to go to be close to the Amitabha Buddha. Because they cannot believe in their true mind. That's why the Buddha give out a skillful means, which is a world for them to rely on. But for Patriot Zen, we don't have any space or time to cling on to. Nothing is beyond the true nature. Everything is in duality. We have to break this duality. So we have to be transparent. There is no limitation. Um, so don't mix up between different methods together. So the if you make the vow to practice until you get liberated, then doesn't matter it's one life or 10 life. You will keep practice until you get there. So you have to be clear on this, or else you will conflicting yourself. So one life or 10 lives, it doesn't matter. That's why we have such saying, practice one life and get enlightened in one moment. It's not the same as with the other practice. We only get reborn after we pass away. So there's a difference for Zen. So if we use that to talk about Pure Land, there will be some conflict. Master Wilson said, what someone asked Master Wilson, when will you be reborn? Master Wilson said, I will be reborn um on toward the end of the mountain in a normal family, and then people feel startled and attached to that saying, keep thinking about different places to be reborn. But it's just a skillful mean to help sentient being. Um, you understand? Yes, I do. Thank you, Thầy. Um, the great question said, does the meaning of Amitabha Buddha means the word means no uh no limit, and Mitaba mean life and light. So the meaning of Amitabha Buddha is trying to get us to the ultimate meaning, but right now people cannot believe in that ultimate meaning. they keep getting stuck in duality. It's a skillful means of the Buddha. Once they get there, they will figure it out. They will be reborn in a lotus, and there are 9 grades of rebirth: the lower grade, the middle grade, and the the higher grade. Totally 9 grades of reborn. So for the one who are reborn as the lowest grade, it takes millions of lives to finally uh, break free from that lotus. And then after they break free from that lotus, they will meet Amitabha Buddha to teach them to practice Zen. For the people who are reborn at the highest grade, the time will be faster, but still the time being in the lotus is very long. But at least they don't have affliction and suffering during the time they are in the lotus, because at that time they they will be in samadhi uh in the lotus, or just like people who attain arhatship. um they keep enjoying that peaceful uh, that peace, thinking that is the ultimate liberation. They're just like a drunk person, you know, feeling very joyful, and after they awaken, they will continue to move up. So the samadhi for arhats are very long. That's why the Buddha complained um, about them, and that's why in the lotus assembly, um, the arhats uh, left the assembly, and the Buddha said, um, those are the seeds that cannot grow. So the people who still there um, are considered the people who have the belief in the true mind. So, so the meaning of Amitabha Buddha, even though it's higher than Arhat, um, it's still not the ultimate meaning, even though it's still in Mahayana. So even the people who reach Bodhisattva, they still not believe in the true mind enough. That's why we create Amitabha Buddha for them to believe in. But Amitabha Buddha is just another name for the true nature. But some people don't believe. Trung Phong Minh Bổn, Zen Master, uh, also taught us, or the sixth patriarch said, if we bring the pure land here to in front of face of everyone, in front of the wise teacher here, then they will still not able to understand. It's because they don't believe in the true mind yet. They still believe in the skillful means. So they give out that skillful means for them to cling on to and practice until they are clear of what is the meaning of the nature of Amitabha Buddha. Do you understand?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Mô Shakyamuni Muni Buddha, đi thầy, đi Sangha, đi all our Dharma friends. I wanted to ask about my own practice. In the past, I usually have the mind of seeking. When I raise the mind to practice and realize this method, I feel very sincere on the practice. I hope my practice can be uninterrupted. And when I do that, I feel very tired. Thanks to discussing and sharing with the wise teachers and Dharma friends, like I feel my current life is very simple. Every day, every thought, I always reflect on my own mind. If there's anything come up, I know I lose my practice and come back to asking the question clearly. Everything keep being like that, even when I'm facing the situation around me. Like when I discuss the practice with someone else, I always reflect on my mind if I have any sub object of gaining, thinking, or feeling in such discussion. To be honest, it's very difficult to realize that. So I always pay attention to learn from everyone, not one teacher or many teachers, but when I face the situation around, I open up my mind to learn and listen. Um, when I learn from you, I see that if we um, if we quiet our mind and listen, then we will understand what the right Dharma is. I know I still have a lot of attachment, but when um, someone pointed out for me, like the last meeting when I talked with you, I realized uh, my attachment right away, and I realized my discrimination mind right away. So I right right away returned to the practice. My life is just simple like that, and um, every action around me, I keep getting familiar with the practice, and I appreciate everything I hear from my Dharma friends and wise teachers. If it go align with the right Dharma, I will appreciate a lot. If it doesn't go align with the right Dharma, I still listen and leave it there. Um, can you give me advice? Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Master Lai always advise us to stay close to the temple. Um, keep keep the practice regularly, and we want to prioritize the doubt. Whatever we say, it still bring us back to the practice and advise us to keep the Hoa in mind. So ask the question, raise the doubt, meaning we are seeing, we are investigating. Because without a doubt, it is just reciting the question. It's not considered seeing or keeping in mind. That's why the teacher said um, the the greatest thing is the doubt. And when we have the doubt, then automatically all of the object of thinking, gaining, or feeling will be put down. We don't need to try to do it, because if we try to do it, um, we are trying to, we are just like calculate here and there. And when we do that, we actually get controlled by the consciousness and we don't really have the practice. That's why we keep saying continue to practice. And when we stay in the temple, our mind will become lighter. We can just, even for a person, just sleep here. They can sleep very soundly because their mind don't go around. When it's time to practice, they practice. So, um, only when we practice we will be able to understand the teaching of the patriarch, or else we will, if not, we will get attached to their words. So in the temple, all the discussion or sharing, we should not try to guess or calculate in there. Always keep in mind, ending attachment is the right Dharma, and attachment is the wrong Dharma. Uh, when someone says something, it this is very easy that we fall into attachment. That's why the patriarch said, um, I am here reluctantly say something, um, just to help people um, to overcome their wrong view. But most of the time we go the wrong way of what the patriarch wants us for us. We keep attached to whatever they say. Our wise teachers can see a lot of things, and overcome a lot of things that maybe even for me, I don't know if I can do it. Like sometimes there are people that slander them, or saying bad thing about them. They know everything, but the wise teacher just say, the patriarch just don't say anything, and then after that, those people um feel ashamed, and then um didn't want to come visit the patriarch anymore. And then after a while, they come back, and the patriarch still welcome them. And the people was thinking that maybe the teacher forget what I did. That's why he still welcome me. But in reality, the wise teachers really uh don't keep those in mind. So for even during in the temple, there are the people that are very lazy. The patriarch still don't say anything, and when they start saying something, it means that that person do something really unacceptable. And then some other people complain that, why don't we send that person out because he doesn't do anything helpful here. But then the teacher still say that, if that person want to leave, then they can leave, but I'm not gonna kick anyone out. So we can see their compassion, um, and we can see the function of the practice is very special. We know and we understand, but sometimes our common habit is too strong that it cover up uh, our willful mind, and we, instead of doing what we originally want, we're doing the opposite. But thanks to the reminder of the wise teacher, we return to the practice. Um, that is how we are learning and practicing. It's nothing further than that. As long as we can maintain the practice, or whoever help us maintain the practice, that is something very great already. So the practice, the the most valuable thing is the doubt. Make sure we move away from subject and object. If we still in subject and object, it's attachment. And I understand. Thank you, Thầy. Nam mô Muni Buddha. Đi Thầy, đi everyone. For those situation like the co-factor I just mentioned, or other situation in life when we are facing circumstances around, a lot of time it goes against our habits. I feel like this is a common sickness that almost everyone has. I feel like if our practice if we're not familiar with the practice, it's very difficult for us to go along with the conditions around or the sentient being. I feel like it's very difficult. It depends on how our practice is every day. And when we face the condition around, we will know ourselves. Like when our practice is familiar, then our mind will be equal. And our thoughts will be harmonious. And when our mind is like that, then our action and words automatically make others see whether we have our common habit is heavy or light or something. So whether we really want to practice liberation or not, it depends on ourselves. I just wanna share these words. When we come to the practice and raise the thought of practice, it's because we all want liberation. Everyone wants to practice liberation, but we still cannot grasp the foundation of practicing. Master, like what I said, it doesn't matter um, what karma we have. It's whether we are willing to practice. As long as we are willing to practice, we can break anything. The force of the doubt is very strong and special. It sweeps from It sweeps from the ordinary people to the bodhisattva. All of the skillful means of liberation are within that doubt, whether it's direct or indirect. So our learning, as long as we keep the doubt, even if our karmic habit is big like the Tuyi mountain, it can still be blown away. But because we don't believe in uh, that prajna wisdom, we keep believe in the consciousness. That's why we fail. Even, even though we keep reminding people to practice, they still uh don't practice. They keep arguing. So when we practice, it's just like we lessen up our karmic habit uh gradually, but some people they don't see the effect right away, then they get discouraged. But we should not use the practice to suppress and turn our back on everything. Our late teachers said we just need to turn our back on the attachment and ignorance, then we will be on the way toward our true nature. Like the Buddha said, when the object fall apart, then there is no longer the subject. And it keep being reminded in the Surangama Sutra and the Diamond Sutra. But we keep chasing after the subject object and discrimination. That's why we got confused. So the force of Tao is very strong. It helps us achieve the sainthood. So keep asking the question, even if your anger is very, very strong to the point where you cannot even ask the question, still keep asking the question. And when you become very familiar with the practice, then it can even sweep away those big anger. The time is up. Goodbye, everyone. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.